the boycott that certain black people are doing against Asian shops or Asian stores or whatever. Now, I have no idea. I didn't pay any attention because I don't pay attention to racialized stories. I don't pay attention to them anymore unless it's really, really something that is like, I'll pay attention if it's like a constitutional violation. I paid more attention to Afrojack's situation with the police than I did whatever happened over here. So don't quote me on what I'm going to say. Don't think I'm an angry whatever behind the screen because I didn't really look into it. And usually when it's a black person, everybody else who is black defends them off the bat, doesn't even report the real story. And from what I read after the court was over, because I didn't watch the court case, none of that. From what I deciphered was a black young man, I don't know if he was a minor or not, I think he was. A black boy went into some shop that was Asian run, Asian owned. They thought he was stealing things. He ran out the shop. The son was chasing him which I thought was illegal and you couldn't do. But I guess it depends on location and state. Because even at Walmart, they can't chase you. Unless you are, loss prevention. But then they can't put their hands on you. Only the police can apprehend you. And I'm not even like saying anybody did anything wrong, really. I'm just speaking out loud. So Asian boy chases black boy. Apparently black boy either looked like he was gonna pull something or he did pull something and he never shot. Right? He never discharged the weapon. So the dad saw this and he shot the black boy. I'm going to say this. That is a justified shooting. Why? Because, number one, why are you a minor with a firearm? And black people have to be consistent because we sit here and talk about all the white boys who go busting around in the schoolhouse and say, well, they shouldn't have had, well, why were their parents so neglectful and things of that nature, which is true. But it also has to be true about these black boys who go busting around at their own people that play spot 'em, got 'em games and want to be thugs or whatever when they're not of age. He wasn't anywhere near the age to own a firearm. Certainly not a handgun. So, number one, why does the boy have a gun? Two, why would you, now as a gun owner, myself, you don't pull nothing or look like you're going to pull something unless you're really going to use that. Now, there's a different, you can do a low ready, a low, holding your firearm low if you need to, make a situation go away, because people have done that, but you don't point the muzzle at people unless you're going to shoot. So that is a justified ruling as far as I'm concerned. You don't point guns at people. And I'm going even bigger than that. Why are you in a place that, according to the black universe, is so racist? No, why are you doing that? And I'm not even saying anything about all Asian occupations, because I go to Chinese restaurants, don't have problems. They don't brandish things in my face. They don't call me racist names. They don't roll their eyes when they see me. None of that. And I'm not saying that there aren't Asian people who do, But there's always black people. There's also, not always, there's also black people who say offensive terms about Asian people that start with a C. There's black people who roll their eyes when the Asian person comes near or is in the vicinity or is being discussed. But my biggest question is why, if that particular place was so racist, why was he even in there to begin with? And I'm gonna say it, and I don't care. But it's the Martin Luther King generation who taught this garbage of forcing yourself into locations that don't want you there. Believing, just let's just stop there. Forcing yourself into locations that don't want you there. That's what Martin Luther King taught. I'm very Malcolm X. If you don't want me there, I'm not going to be there. If my brother, and paraphrasing what Malcolm X said, if my brother, whoever that is, an Asian man, an Arab man, a white man, whoever it is, or woman, wants to put their hand willingly around me in brotherly love, then that's good. But I'm not going to strong arm them or issue threats that and demand that they do it. And then you get in these situations where, oh, let's boycott them, or they're so racist, or you wonder why the service is so bad, or you're being accused of stealing. Maybe you should stop forcing yourself into locations that do not want your presence. And you can feel it. I'm saying this as an Afro-Latino. You can feel when people do not want you there. You can feel when people don't like you. I don't care what a white person wants to say about, oh, you're being a narcissist and you can't possibly know what's in the mind of somebody else. You can know when, let's say, if you are a woman, period, a white woman, you know when there's dudes who ain't on no good type of time. Is that narcissism? How do you know what's in the mind of the heart of the man, or a group of men who aren't just simply existing, aren't simply just minding their own business, aren't simply just a man about, in the world, existing. This is, oh, I don't like this. Or this man, the way he's posturing, the way he's looking, the way he's, handling himself, I don't like it. So I'm just going to go somewhere else or quickly exit. Saying you're like at a store, you're going to quickly pay and go, or I'm going to, duck them real quick or hide because I don't like the energy that's being. So as a woman, you know that, but as a white woman, you want to say that's narcissism and it doesn't exist and people are making things up. No, it's not. You know when someone either just doesn't like you, because I agree, everything's not about skin color. Someone can just not like you. It could be a white woman who's jealous of you. It has nothing to do with the color of your skin. It could be a Asian woman who's jealous of you, or envious of you, and it has nothing to do with the color of your skin. Maybe they just have poor the customer service, and they just do that to everybody. It could have nothing to do with you personally. So I agree with that. But I'm saying, when there's a vibe, there's a vibe. And you know that vibe as a person of color. I'm sorry, not sorry. You know the sarcastic remarks. You know the racialized quote-unquote jokes. You know the putting you on the spot, expecting you to know things, or you should answer for an entire collection of people, or being questioned about Beyonce when you don't even like her fucking music, like being questioned about all the crime that's going on in cities that you don't live in, like literally. I mean, I was born in Chicago. It's actually a lot better now with the crime, and the crime exists when there's a large population squished together. that has been happening since Al Capone was alive and in the streets of Chicago. But I'm not going to answer for all of the actions of someone who aren't me. I can only answer for my actions. I have not committed felonies. I don't have a criminal record. So why are you asking me about the actions of other people? With white people, nobody demands that they if you say that all white people are racist, they get mad. If you assume things, oh, this white person, they're probably really dumb and can't read because they came from name southern state. Oh, they're really dumb and can't read. And then they get mad, but then they'll do this stuff to you. Oh, you're from this state, so you must know all the spottum bottoms and the niggas, drillers, and the villas, and all the movers and the shakers, and all the motherfuckers who is, you know, scamming and plotting and planning. Well, maybe there's people of color who don't like associating with people like that. Some people grew up in families like that, and they saw their family dying in jail, and they're like, maybe I want to make something of myself. Maybe that's a possibility. And if you don't like that, if that is okay for you, then don't be shocked when people think you're dumb and you can't read and you can't spell your own name. But should you even be voting? Or you have sex with your cousins and sisters? Like, maybe that's just what you do. I mean, it's stereotypes are real for a reason, right? Right? And somewhere there is some truth. Right? Maybe most white people are racist and not to be trusted. Or Asian people or whoever. Because it's not just white people. There are very racist Asian people. There are Asian people for some reason who believe they are entitled access to, and I learned about this, that even in Asian countries, in their Ivy League schools, they have quotas. But for some reason, when the Asian people get here, they don't think any of that should exist. And it's black people's fault that Lynn didn't get, or Lynn or Kim or whoever else didn't get into the Ivy League school of their parents' dreams. When most of those Asian kids don't even want to be going for any of those topics. You know what I'm saying? Like, they believe they are entitled to the best schools. They are entitled to certain things. But when a black person so much as asked a question about something or raises their hand, oh, shut up. You need to go work for that. That's not a black president. That's Obama. He doesn't know you anything. But you get a whole anti-Asian crime bill out of Biden. Why are you entitled to that? Why there wasn't even a anti-white person crime bill. And it was all because of the MAGA garbage that was geared towards hating Asians and thinking that the average Asian citizen from China did all this as if they cooked the shit up in their basement or something. That had nothing to do with black people. That was the orange man who did that. And his cronies who on conservative news channels who kept saying the China virus and inferring certain people just need to be stopped. Certain people need to be banned. Certain people need to be pushed back. That wasn't black people saying that. That wasn't even black people on the liberal news who were saying that. But the black people on the liberal news were defending you. But you're so, and that's the whole thing of, this goes back to the myth of race, because race does not exist. As soon as people got that in their motherfucking minds, we would not have the problems that we have. And because of this ridiculous belief system in a eugenics made-up term called race, white people, particularly poor whites, were due